How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Hey, how we doing, everybody?
Doing
Good,
good.
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 For everyone who doesn't know, of course, I'm Fran, my beautiful assistant, Miss Crystal from Texas Metal Militia.
Thank you so
And we
much.
got Jesse from Malevolant Creation. How's it
All
going?
right, yeah. Thank you all so much for having me on, Fran and Crystal and Savage Ladies of Metal. It means a lot. I appreciate you inviting me on.
Thank you so
Same, man. I
much.
appreciate you taking the time out to do this. I can imagine you're all kind of just being back from only for about a month your tour.
Yeah, it's you sort of go into sort of like a survival mode, like when you go over there, because the food's different, or you go anywhere, like literally everything in America is sort of can be isolated. If you go to South America, if you go to Europe or whatever, like it's a completely different sort of dietary situation for your system. So sometimes it can catch you off guard
And I can't
if you
imagine.
have a
I
sensitive
have a
tummy
nasty,
or whatever.
I have a
But
nasty GI tract, so I can't imagine what that would do to me.
yeah, it's so that among some whatever the travel arrangements and the sleep arrangements is. So it's either way, you do go into this like survival mode. It's a lot of fun. The fans always make it worth it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's there's no such thing as like a full 8 hour sleep. When you're out there, certainly in like places like if you're touring Asia, because
Yeah.
you might have a day off here and there, but ultimately you play the show, you wake up in 2 or 3 hours, you go to the airport, you fly to the next country, and then you rinse and repeat. So you literally for weeks you exist on a series of like 2 or 3 hour naps, and then every time you fly into a new town, the promoter is like gung ho. He's like, or he or she, they're like, hey, you guys want to get some food? They'll go take some photos, go do this, go do that. And it's like, no, I just want to fucking sleep, dude.
Yeah, because they had a nice full night of sleep before you came in. They were all good to go.
Yeah, I know. They were like happy and they show up all bright eyed and bushy tailed. It's hilarious, but love them to death.
Yeah, right. And in more ways than one, right?
Yeah.
And what do
So
you what do you do when you have the day off? Aside from sleeping, right? Getting rest.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's just sleeping. We generally we try to just get a good meal,
Hmm.
whether that's going to a restaurant or just kind of taking the time ultimately to rest. You'd be amazed at like when you get into this mode where you're not really sleeping, but you spend the day kind of like just on your mattress, just kind of like horizontal, and you're just laying there and you're contemplating and you're thinking about things. Like it's sort of like you almost can use it, at least I do anyway, as a time of self-reflection,
Hmm.
because if you spend the day off completely trashed, maybe a little bit, but like if you spend the day off completely
Right.
trashed, it doesn't entirely feel like a day off when you go back, to play the next show. So you almost kind of spend it just recouping, drinking some vitamin C, because inevitably when you go on tour, you get the sniffle way to, and stuff like that. So just kind of to recuperate. Now, if you have 2 days off, that's a different story. Sometimes you have 2 days off and you
Hmm.
spend the first day getting hammered and then the second day recuperating.
yeah, I was gonna say that's when you know the
Yeah.
first night you're like, fuck this, balls to the wall. You're gonna find out what's in the local scene and you're gonna hit all the local shit and drink things that you normally wouldn't even look twice at and be like, fuck it, I'm drunk.
Yeah. Or you just kind of hang out with your friends, your brothers in the band, and just kind of kick back and just kind of you develop it's team building. You develop that
Yeah.
relationship, and you kind of have that sort of rapport, that situation going on with your bandmates. Sometimes that outweighs the glitz and glamour of going out in the streets. And Tokyo is really something else. Like that's a really cool place to hang out and visit, because it's like a much cleaner, more petite
Yes.
Las Vegas. Like it's
Yeah.
really rad. Like I mean,
Yeah.
it's I'll never forget that place. Just like everywhere you
And
look, it's like glitz, or just lights and shit going crazy. But
and the
yeah,
things that they have, like the vending machines with the food, and you
yeah,
can get so many things, cakes. Um.
cakes and iced coffee and
Yes.
pudding. You know,
I wish I had those vending machines here, but
yeah. Maybe
damn it.
we'll get there at some point.
I'm in no
Yeah.
hurry to put a vending machine possible within arm's reach of me. I'm good.
Yeah. And so it's they do have a way of spoiling you
That's
Hmm.
good
over
though.
there.
That's
You
good. You
know.
know what? You deserve to be catered to when you're there. But
I
now
mean,
you guys were all over the place, though. I mean, you guys were like in Tokyo, you were in Indonesia, you were in, what's it, the Philippines? I mean, you
yeah,
were
we
just
were in, I think Davao, Philippines, and Dubai, which that was rad. And then
I think we were in
my
Dubai at the
Wow,
same time my
Dubai.
brother was out there. My brother was out there on
yeah,
business. It was around the same time, and I saw that. I was like, oh, that'd be cool, but he's not
right, yeah, it was. You wish you had enough time to really spend a day or two like exploring and just kind of seeing a lot of the sites. But honestly, like we got to Dubai at I don't know, like 4 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be at the venue by like 9 p.m. and then play the show and then be at the airport that night. So it's like you're like, oh, that's the tallest building in the world. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go play a show.
That's about it. It's like you see it, you gotta move your ass,
Yeah, that's really it, and so
Yeah,
that's
that
the only
sucks.
yeah, it's but in a way it keeps it fresh, and ultimately when you leave for tour, your main objective is just to get home safely.
Yeah.
So for every show you play, it's like it feels good and everything, but you ultimately are just kind of working towards getting home to your family, your pets, your kitty cats, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know?
The
Yeah.
important stuff.
Oh yeah.
What's how many hours ahead is are they over there? What is that, like hours, 12?
I was, when it was midnight there, it was noon here, more or less, and so it was weird. Kind of getting used to it. But like I said, when you exist for a few days off of just like 3-4 hour naps here and there,
A lot
like
of
it's almost
caffeine,
like, you know what I mean? Like it almost doesn't even matter at that point because you're delirious anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
And then you guys got super sick while you were out there. When did you guys start feeling sick? What?
it's funny, like actually we all got sort of like different things, I guess. And Ronnie, he's got like a stellar immune system. He didn't get too much of anything. I played a festival here in Tampa. Well, Ronnie played it too, but our drummer Ronnie is our drummer in Malevolant. But I'm in another band with him, a couple other bands with him. Anyway, long story. But we played a show only 2 or 3 days before we left for that tour here in Tampa, and it was a metal festival called Swarm Fest. Killer time, great bands, great fun, everything. But the next day after, I woke up and I was like, nothing major, but normally I had like stayed home for the next week or so. It would have been probably over with and done relatively quickly because it wasn't bad, but like it's just like traveling through the airports from one country to the next, the different people, the different food, the different germs. You just never have a chance to heal. And so I had a sinus infection from day one and it didn't go away until after I got home.
And that shit
Like
sucks, man. That
my
shit
ear,
really
like I
takes
was,
a toll on you.
yeah, I was like deaf in one ear, sometimes like it would just periodically, my ear would close up. And so it had its set of interesting, shall we say, circumstances, but ultimately, like it was fun. Like I said, the fans always make it worth it.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, true.
you know what I mean? But yeah, I was sick for the whole thing. Phil kind of, I think, started getting something sort of when we were in Shanghai, which was sort of like on the last maybe 4 shows or something like that. He started feeling kind of grimy, I think, but ultimately, like, yeah, it was the first tour that I played with Malevolent where they were like, because we had a lineup change recently, and so I went from being basically just the bass player to okay, now you're going to do bass and lead or bass and vocals, bass and all
Yeah.
vocals. And so it was, probably a combination of like the stress, the pressure, the trying to having to remember so much in such a little time and, the different environments and so forth. But yeah, I just literally never healed. I just was sick for the whole tour, but I had a great time. I don't think I was contagious per se because it was, my family just historically just have really bad sinuses and sinus
Yeah.
issues, and it is what it is. But yeah, man, it was rough, but a lot of fun, I guess, at the same time.
Yeah, I saw that Phil was getting his ass handed to him those last few. Some of the pictures, man, he looked like he was just struggling, but he was still killing it through it.
Yeah, and that's sort of just
That was all of you,
thing.
though.
Yeah, it really is. It's just an essence that permeates probably almost any band in that situation. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
because I've done tours like in America and so forth, where it was like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, or like 3 weeks, stuff like that. It's in America, and so it's at least you've kind of got that familiarity. But yeah, when you're over there, it's just like everything, like your experience is just amplified because you're nowhere near your home.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
like,
you're out of your environment. You're in a different
yeah.
area. You're in an area that that has been questionable based on past history, especially with COVID. I'd be like freaking out. I'd be like, dude, like, was everyone
I
wearing masks?
literally, yeah, I never thought I would say this, but I like about a week and a half into that, I was so sick of Asian food that I was ready to scream. And I love Thai food and Vietnamese and this, that, and the other. Like, I love that shit.
Wow.
But like after about a week and a half, I was like, sick and frustrated. I was just like, I need a pepperoni pizza. Can someone get me a pepperoni pizza? Eventually I got one, I think in Mongolia, strangely enough.
Pizza,
Oh,
what's that taste like? It's like, how's
It
it?
was actually it was quite good. It was like a brick oven style pizza. It was quite good.
Brick oven's
You
good
know,
though. I love brick oven.
but what type?
yeah,
I was gonna say
yeah.
what
So
type? What toppings did you get?
normally I'm just like a extra pepperoni kind of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can put onion on anything, basically I'll do that. So I'll do like
Same.
pepperoni, onion, green pepper normally,
Yep.
garlic. So all the savory stuff.
I live
Bless
with
you.
allergies. Thank you. I'm a walking
Was
allergy.
that you?
I feel you.
Yeah, just all the savory stuff. But yeah, it was nice, to get a pizza after a while. Strangely enough, though, once I got home, like almost one of the first things I did was go to a Chinese restaurant. You know,
That's funny as fuck. The fact that you were so over the food while you were there,
yeah,
and then the first thing you do when you come home is go
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
get that. That's still funny.
yeah. I
It
thought I was
happens.
too, but it's just those weird kind of psychological things that happen when you come home. It's almost like,
It was
uh,
like food aversion in a way.
yeah, it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome thing. Like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
sort of like you're captive to the Asian food for as long
Right.
as you're there, and then when you get home, you miss it. So you go
Yeah.
back
Get
to
that.
it.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, psychological. Yeah. Either way.
That's right. I'd be like, I just want some orange chicken. I want some steak, and I want some pasta with no red sauce because I can't eat that. I'm
Yeah,
Italian.
yeah.
I can't eat red sauce. Do you know how heartbreaking that is?
Right, right. There's no
That's
Mexican
tough.
food's my favorite. Mexican food's my favorite, and there's no Mexican food. I didn't find any Mexican food in
Really,
Europe or
nothing.
or Asia at all
Wow.
whatsoever. And that's kind
Yeah.
of sad because I love that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you came home after that. You wanted Taco Bell or some shit or some good burrito
Yeah,
from.
or just
Or
there's Florida. Florida has some of the best Mexican food I've ever had. And so coming
Texas
home to
does.
that was great. So
Texas does.
Texas
But
has probably the
the
best.
over
Florida
here,
has, yeah, I think Texas probably has the best Mexican food. Florida had, because I mean, I've been to Mexico, and the Mexican food in Mexico was not as good as the Mexican food in Florida, let alone Texas. Because
Really?
really.
I think all of the best chefs migrated to Texas probably. I don't know. But the
Wow.
thing is, it's just like the food. I love Mexican food. And then when we were in Mexico City for a couple of days, like in and around the area,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, I wanted to have carnitas. Carnitas is fantastic. Everyone loves it.
Yes.
But when I order carnitas, like in actual Mexico, they bring like a little bit of carnitas, and then they bring like chitlins and then chicharrones. So it's just like
Chicharrones, yeah.
this, yeah, the skin and then the intestines, but I just want the pulled pork. Like I just want
Mm.
the pork. And so it just flavor, I guess, was okay, but I think that like the Americanized to a degree Mexican food is top notch. I don't know, I love it. Then
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
go
Like
figure. I'm a
tacos
white dude.
tacos de tripa, and you have those the best tacos are like the ones with you put cilantro, onion,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like
and
the original Mexican
chile.
style. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you need is like cilantro and onions and carnitas on
Yeah,
a corn tortilla. That's it.
and
And
it's
see,
the best.
I gotta put. I'm all about garlic. I am a garlic fanatic. I can literally just snack on onions and garlic and make that an actual snack with ranch.
Yeah,
Everyone's just like, you don't want to kiss nobody. I'm like, I'm not kissing nobody, motherfucker. I'm manging. You know? I got gum. Don't worry about it. And the gum still doesn't, but it's not strong.
Yeah. They got gum.
It's not
So,
strong
yeah.
enough to overpower that. That's okay though. I love my onions and I love my garlic, and I will eat the shit out of that.
Yeah, they say it's good for you.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are, but they say it's good for you.
Right? I can't trust the CDC anymore. You know what they say? It's like I'm like, we got the fattest and most unhealthiest country, and we're the ones with the health regulation, branches, and we're the unhealthiest country in the nation, in the world.
You know what's funny?
Anymore.
I was having this conversation. I have this conversation with people because it's something that I've noticed. And maybe other people have noticed this as well, but there's something about the food in America that like definitely is very, very heavy and it sticks to you. Like you can literally go to like Europe or Asia, like especially Europe. And if you just hang out in Europe for a month, you just lose freaking weight because there's not all these like illegal toxins. Like in America, they put so much stuff in like additives and preservatives, and a lot of those are outlaw and illegal. But anyway. But that's something that I've noticed from going is that the food is a little just less noxious, I guess.
Right.
It's
that's what I'm saying.
delicious in America. Like I love
the
it.
FDA, you got the CDC. They're supposed to be looking out for us, but they have been so up and down and back and forth with what they've said just in the last 5 years. It's to the point where I'm like, this explains everything. I'm like, we're the unhealthiest. We're dying younger. We're all, we're overweight compared to society. Even if you're healthy, you're still considered overweight in society now compared to the rest of the world.
Sexy.
Right? Compared to the rest of the world. And they're eating this. A lot of them are eating the same shit we are, and they're fucking rails, and they're healthier. It's like, dude, I don't trust that. I'm like, CDC, FDA can kiss my ass. I don't believe them for shit anymore. It's like, it is a reality. Just like you said, there's a whole bunch of shit in our food. All they care, they don't give two shits about our health. All they care about is that rolling in, keep you wanting more, will keep you wanting more. So they're going to add whatever the fuck they want and can to that food to make you want it and crave it.
All that, and then there's like funny shit like fluoride in the tap water, and it's like they say, it's like, yeah, fluoride's good for your teeth, but why do I need to drink it?
Right.
Put it in toothpaste. Don't put it in my drinking water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't need to drink a chemical to make your teeth healthy. It's like you rinse your mouth out and spit it out and go. You know what? Anyway.
Well, I mean, and
maybe our colon needs a good rinsing. I don't know.
I mean,
make it a little fresh. Make that ass fresh.
And you get it. You think about it. It's like, who invented this shit? Like, who said that was the fluoride was good for you? I mean,
people that rub their hands together deviously. They go,
yeah,
like that.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know.
So now, okay, I'm getting back on track here. Fuck fluoride. But brush your teeth.
Good for you.
Keep your gingivitis to yourself. But seriously, I mean, you guys had an awesome time. I'm old school, got notes written.
Sure.
I'm glad you guys came back, and you guys fucking just cranked through that shit, sick as fuck. You still knocked it out. What were some of your favorite countries though to go to besides the food factor?
I had mentioned Tokyo because we had the opportunity. Strangely enough, we played the same venue 2 days in a row. Both days it was sold out. And that was cool because we each had our own individual hotel room in this situation. And it was just, they have like these Astro toilets and all this futuristic, like bathing.
Astro toilet?
One of those toilets you see. And
it's the name Astro, it's.
Yeah. Astro toilet. But it's got all these buttons and lights and triggers and nozzles and all this crap, it's excess, no one maybe needs that, but it's just something that, but anyway.
Oh, wait, I think I know what you're talking about. Is it one of those toilets where you can even put, if it's a cold toilet seat, you can turn the heater on?
Yes.
Yeah.
My cousin, he's passed now, but he has a lot of the same health issues I do with Crohn's, diverticulitis, and like next level shit. Yeah. His ass is gonna fuck the mind. And he had one of those special toilets, and he goes, "You can make it air conditioned." He goes, "You can make it light up." I'm like,
yeah.
I just wanted to go in the bathroom and play with his toilet.
Yeah, and it cleans itself, and it cleans you. It's like a bidet inside.
I can't do a bidet.
And then it turns into a water fountain after you're done. You just go.
After that, ooh.
Oh my God!
No, guys, do
Yeah.
not drink water from the bidet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've
Mm.
tried a bidet a few times. I can't have water shooting up my ass like that. It's just, I mean, okay, they
I
got
don't know.
for that shit. I'll just, I'll literally for that shit.
Yeah, I guess it's a culture thing, and one thing I will say though is that it does juxtapose. I know I don't want to diverge too much from your original question, but to juxtapose that certain places still in Asia and in northern Italy, like um, it's just like this little thing that you put your feet on and then you just squat down and then they expect you to crap in a little hole, and it's like, how do you do that without shitting all over your pants? Like, I don't even get that. Like, but I mean, I assume it's just a thing that culturally that's just
You stand
they
shit.
can do. It's weird. It's like, yeah, basically you put it's you if you Google it, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have a talk to my parents.
It's like a
Well,
drain.
they're my
like I
parents.
said,
My
it
parents are from
and
Southern.
so
Like, what is with this standing shit thing? What is this?
It's
well,
like
it's
a
like they
like a large drain, and you
it's a
shit
large
in.
drain, and then there's a little like squirt, like a
Yes.
little garden hose in the bathroom, and then so what you're expected to do is just shit all in this drain,
It kind
and
and
then take the hose and go.
yeah, and I've seen it. It's like it looks
Yes.
like a bathroom, like a shower, and you go and you
Yeah.
squat. You had to squat.
Well, you know what? We've
Right.
talked to a couple of people that had no problem talking about taking shitting in the shower and waffle stomping it down the.
I mean,
That was one of the funniest damn interviews we ever had. You just
I've heard it. Anyway, but let me, I digress. Let me get back to your original question you asked.
Yeah.
So definitely Tokyo was killer. Just a really cool country with a lot of energy. Like when you just kind of, there's places in Tokyo where you can hang out and you're just like, oh man, some people have been here, you know. And then I would say the best food I ever had in my life was probably in Shanghai. So there was something about Shanghai that I really did enjoy from that perspective. Like, it was killer, you know. And the hotel had this like cute little robot that roamed around, and it would like get in the elevator with you, and it just like would take food to rooms and shit. So it was kind of cool.
That's cool.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
You know, and definitely Bengaluru, India, which was the last show of the tour.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite show, and it sucks because there's no video of it on YouTube, at least that I found yet. But it was just a really solid show. It was the last one of the tour. The promoter just kept bringing us pepperoni pizzas, which was killer.
Right, I was
for
gonna
me.
say, right up your alley. It was beautiful.
Yeah, you know, and the fans were great, you know, and everything, and it just it was a good experience. And so yeah, and even Mongolia was killer.
Cool.
It's north of China, so it's I want to say it was like negative 40 degrees, give or take, while we were there. It's really really cold.
Damn,
So much that
Chicago.
yeah, I mean it was
thought.
really chilly, you know, but great show, you know, great fans, and yeah. So there's just a couple of my favorites, but yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome,
that's awesome. So now let's talk about the nightmare on Friday the 13th with the visas. What the hell happened there?
God, was that on Friday the 13th? It probably was.
Yeah.
More or less. So when and I know that like some laws in China have recently changed and so forth, but I guess we were notified about 2 or 3 days before we left for tour. It was like, okay, hey, I know we're about to go on tour, but we're going to need you guys to go to Orlando, Chinese consulate, $600 for a work visa to do this, to do that. And we were like, bro, we don't have the time to go to Orlando. You know, we have jobs, we got shit we got to do to prepare to leave for tour. You know, we got stuff. And so, like, number one, we're not driving to Orlando, which is like 2 hours away. And we're not going to pay $600 to go play 2 shows. It was 2 shows in China. We were like, and so anyway, we were like, okay. But they were like, I think there's another way. So basically, the situation is that if you go into like a city in China, like Beijing, which is like a district, you can apply for a 144-hour visa, which is basically like a week. You can apply for a visa as long as you don't leave that district. You can stay there and fly home, no problem. Our situation was that we were going to Beijing and then we had a show in Shanghai. And so we sort of had to like do a situation to where we had to do that twice, but for two different districts. Make a long story short, when we went to fly out of Shanghai, they were like, "Oh, you overstayed your visa. It couldn't have been for like 6 hours, maybe 4 hours or something."
Wow. Oh,
They like they rang the alarms and they were pointing at us like, "Oh shit, man, they fucked up." You know, and like it was, you know, I'm being a little hyperbolic, but at the same time, like it just and they were like, "Oh, you guys got to come back here and hang out with us. We got to go figure this out."
So how long
They were like, "Well, you're not going to make this flight, so tickets are done." You know, we couldn't make the flight because you have to go, and they got to wag their finger at you, and you got to sign some paperwork. And the promoter and us had to like chip in and purchase like extra plane tickets to just get us the fuck out of China. We just wanted to get out of China, you know, and then I guess they like roughly a $370 per person fee for us just to get, because we violated the law, you know. So it was it was a real nightmare. The fans in China were stellar, and the food, as I mentioned, was fantastic. But man, I just wanted to get.
Wow.
Yeah, I just wanted to get out of China. We didn't want any trouble at all with China. We just wanted to. You know,
that's the last place I'd want to. If I was,
I know.
I don't want to screw around in any other country. You know, I mean, I want to necessarily go to prison in the States, but in a different country, that's a whole whirlwind. You know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You don't know the prison.
I'm glad you guys made it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was exciting, you know, but it was good. Like I said, that was sort of the like the last leg of the tour. So luckily we were sort of, you know.
Yeah. No, it'd be like you're so excited you're finally gonna go home. You guys are, just finally starting to feel better as you're leaving the tour from being sick. And it's like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Are you fucked? Right. Oh my God. You know?
Yeah.
And then was all your gear already on its way though? It was on the floor already, so it made it back before you did.
I guess the two promoters, they took their own method of transportation, and so we were actually left in the airport under the assumption that everything would just go fine and whatever. So literally when we hit customs and they saw so it was like red flag, and it was like so the only way that we were physically able to get through that, thankfully, and I'm going to give a shout out to T-Mobile, because I've got fucking T-Mobile and they cover you every goddamn where, because the other two guys in the band had no cell phone coverage.
Oh shit.
And this is literally the same whether I'm in South America, Europe, or Asia, whatever, you know. So shout out to those guys, because dude, you know, I had cell phone service and I was able to call the promoter or call the tour managers, do whatever.
Everyone's gonna be buying T-Mobile now for tour.
Dude, I'm telling you,
your asses now.
Yeah, you know, and so that's just a tidbit there, but yeah, I mean, it's thankfully I had cell phone service because I was able to sort of, make some calls, get some people on the horn, and then I was able to get the promoter online with the kind lady at the airport and customs, and I was like, "Here, can you talk to this guy?" Because they're like, "Dude, you're going to have to do this and that," and I was freaking out. We all were, man, because we were we were literally like 40 minutes away from leaving China, and they were like, "No, you guys fucked up."
Oh wow, yeah, dude, that's like a hardcore sit your ass down. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it was. It was a leg jiggle moment where you just kind of sit there and you jiggle your leg up and down.
Right.
Stress.
Non-stop for like hours. Like, dude, what the fuck? Oh my God, dude. My nerves would have been shot. That would have been gone.
Yeah.
Anxiety. Yeah. Oh my God, that's insane, man. Yeah, we already went through some of this stuff. I'm just skimming over what I got here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, you're bringing back all these funny memories that it's kind of like, you come back and you take that big sigh of relief from getting home. But yeah, like when you think back to like those certain moments like that, like literally when you're this close to being arrested in Shanghai, you're like,
that's terrifying, because we've all seen them. We've heard about this shit happening in other countries. You see movies about that shit. Simple Vacation, cans and something just goes wrong, and all of a sudden the most stupidest reason, just put your ass in prison for life. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, it seems like it was just like, that was what I was, imaging in my head. I just started thinking about everything you hear about. And I'm just like, dude, just like basket case. If that was me, be like, dude, oh my God, I'm going to be fucking shot dead the first day because I'm going to end up saying the wrong damn thing to the wrong Chinaman. And they're going to, they're going to think I said something else. Come off aggressive.
They slam the cell shut and they're like, and the best part, no pepperoni pizza.
Right. And no onion. That itself right there is torture, man. No pizza and onions. The fuck? And no garlic. All right, you know what? Just slit my throat.
Wide open.
Right? Oh my God, that's nuts. But you did make it home safe. Nobody ended up having their ramen noodles slurped on, so that's good.
No. Not this time.
Yeah, but you made it back just in time for the holidays.
Yeah, it was good. Just in time for the lovely mother-in-law to come in, and we had our tree, we did our thing, and it was fun. It was a delightful holiday season. It feels good. It's for as corny as it sounds, it's almost like, at least emotionally, you feel like you're returning from battle. It's nowhere near like
I get that. No,
nothing even close to like a military deployment or anything like that. But it's like, when you get back, you're just, in some cases, you can just be shattered and just need a couple of days to recover. But
like literally, you just mentally break down and you just disassociate
a little bit.
Yeah, you need to cry and just
sometimes cry and hug your favorite kitty.
Yeah.
Nah, it's all right. No, it's fun. It's good times. It's good times, but it's just like I said, it's just running the gauntlet. Sometimes everything goes great, then you just get a little hang up here and there, but it's fine. Yeah, it's all for the fans. Like I said, I'll never deny the fans make it worth it every time. So.
Yes, and have you ever had a fan that has changed your life, or like a perspective of something that you'll never forget?
Certainly, I would say I had never experienced, like, until I had gone to South America, I had never experienced a fan like coming up and hugging you and giving you, props or whatever, and then just having tears in their eyes. Like, I'd never experienced that. And so, like, because I played shows in Canada and so forth, but it wasn't until I joined Malevolant that, literally within 6-8 weeks, we hit South America. So it was my first time in South America.
Mm-hmm.
I had done like a little tour in France, but France is, it's France, and so there's in France to impress the French. So anyway, but like when I was in,
they look at us like we're petty.
Yeah, no, they're killer. It's France is wonderful. France is great, but in South America, like after you play a show or if you're signing an autograph, sometimes they're literally crying. They're like, "Oh my God, thank you for bringing this to us." And the same thing with Asia. There were places we played in Asia, like definitely in in Indonesia, like where like people, they just had tears in their eyes, and it changes you. It really does. It kind of almost like harkens back to like when you were younger, like how much music meant to you as you were first discovering it.
Yeah.
And when you first, discovered some of your favorite influences that would, later become influences or what have you, like it means a lot, and so to see grown men and women like, approach you and that emotion in their eyes, it's heavy.
Yeah, as heavy as it is, it's a beautiful moment. You realize the impact that you can have on somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
And I say all the time, people won't always remember what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Yes, so, exactly.
Yeah. Make people feel good.
Yeah. Very humbling.
Yeah.
Very humbling. Very humble.
So then you come back, you enjoy the holidays, and now you guys remastered your first 3 albums, and that is coming up for release.
Yeah, that's coming out for release, and so the fans will have access to those. Those are some classics there. Those created long before my tenure with the band, but nonetheless, they're definitely 3 classics there, and they're going to be available out here very soon over the next few weeks.
Retribution and Stillborn.
Yeah, 3 of the absolute classics.
Yeah,
and we play several songs from each of those, literally, almost every show. And I mean, they're coming out and new packaging, new remastered overall sound, tweaks to EQ and everything. And so I hope the fans enjoy it.
When do you have an ETA on the release?
Not a definite one, not particularly.
Yet.
I think
it's that much we know.
Yeah, that much we know. It's in the first quarter of 2025. Absolutely.
Right. But you are taking pre-orders. I saw that you guys are taking pre-orders. For anyone who doesn't know about it, do you know where they can go for the pre-orders?
To Back on Black Records are the ones that are heading it, and so it should be through them, through their website, through their social media. Mm-hmm. Check it out, and just bang your head. We're coming for you. We're going to keep playing the shows and shit, and we're working on a new album now, and so it's going to be. Yes. We're just going to keep adding to it and keep it rolling.
Yes. Finally, a new album. Finally, after almost several years. How long is it? What was it? 19? 18? No, 19.
Yeah. Like I said, it's I'm still relatively the new guy into the fold, and so it's I think Phil, which is the remaining original member, he was just he's waiting to compile the right people. Because when you're sort of in a legacy act, you do kind of have your pick of the litter in some degree. So you might, you may bring people into the, maybe things will work out for a minute. Maybe you decide to change it up. And so it's ultimately just about how he feels about the situation. And if he wants to keep, the certain crew and then move forward with an actual producing an album, then, but it seems like he's found his crew, and so we'll, just kind of keep people updated and just bring it.
Right.
We've got
this is going to be the 14th album, if I remember.
Right. Yeah. It should be entitled "Return."
Fire. Is that
correct? Return Fire. And the concept art that we've got for it is very, it's appealing. It's very stunning to me. It's I dig it. And so everything's coming together for us. So that's something that we're in the process of creating, and then we're going to hopefully have wrapped up before we take off back to Europe in July for some festivals, and so that should be fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys got some cool shit going on, but let's talk about the music video. We, as everyone knows, we always have at least one song, from any album, and we let if it's not a current song because they're working on a release on a new album and they just don't want to play anything from the most recent album, you did give me one to play, and we got Homicidal Rants, and I got that right here. So with your permission, I'd like to jam out.
Do it.
Let's do it. All right, let's crank that.
that black metal shit.
Music to our ears, man. Fucking love that song, man.
Damn.
It's a badass fucking song. I love that song.
That's probably my favorite album from Malevolant. So it's
Yeah.
good. We were able to include a couple of songs that and Kill Zone from that album. I love it. It's just got like that melodic feel. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's from in Venom 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, that song's fucking badass. I love that song. Hell yeah. Now, I was thinking about it when I was jamming out to that. I was thinking, when you were singing, it probably didn't make the song sound like bad at all. Maybe it enhanced it with you having a sore throat. You think?
Yeah. It's the original singer Brett was the singer on the Envenomed album. Rest in peace, bro.
Rest in peace, man.
But I knew kind of. That's one of the first things I said, to Phil and to Ronnie when it was like, well, do you want to move in and do the vocals? I was like, kind of a little bit of a different singer. They know my resume, they know where my wheelhouse is, and so it was sort of like, yeah, just go and kind of see what happens. And so there's no doubt that maybe over the years that I will evolve more into something that's maybe 100% more suitable for Malevolant vocally, but.
You know what? You're gonna be your worst. You're gonna be your worst critic, man. You fucking kill it. You fucking kill it.
Well, I'm just being real with the fans. You know what I mean? Because I know that Malevolence. It's been a long, hard road. There's been a lot of, twists and turns, but the fans are loyal. The fans love it. We love the songs and everything. And I've only joined the band relatively recently. You know what I mean? And I just want to do my best for them. And so I just want to be upfront and forthcoming with them, it will continue to improve and it will continue to just become more tight, more brutal. And I'm just looking forward to it. We all have sort of a positive outlook on where we're going.
Right.
We just brought another guitar player back into the fold. Mm-hmm. So moving forward, we'll be back to a 4-piece, 2 guitars, bass, and then vocals,
Right.
And so it's, so there's some good stuff on the future on the horizon. Yeah.
I did want to touch base a little bit on the change up in the band. I know it happens to all the bands. It does. And I wanted to bring, I'd like to bring this up because there's so much controversy. I mean, the band itself has one hell of a controversial history. We all know this, but I mean, what band really doesn't to some degree? There's always people nitpicking on everything anyways. I mean, you're never going to fucking make anyone happy anymore. They'll always look for something just to poke, just to, just not just poke the bear, but kick it in the cunt while it's at it, but, but besides that, with the change ups, not so much your band, but in every band, what do you think about the people who are so anal retentive? Okay, whether it's fans, people who aren't fans, but people who always have opinion. They're just like, we're not going to go see this band anymore because they don't have the original members, and I don't like the new musician because of my own personal fucking reasons, and I don't want to. How do you, Malevolent? They've gone through a lot, and Phil. Being the remain, Brett came back multiple times over the last 30 years, before his passing. Rest in peace.
Looks like, there's definitely been quite a few members that have come into the fold, and I think that literally it just boils down to Number one, if you're the lead creative driving force in a band, as I mentioned earlier, you do sort of have your pick of the litter when it comes to like who you want to settle with and so forth. And a lot of times, what it really boils down to is that like when people get together, it works out for a few years, and then a few years later, maybe not. It's just like with any relationship.
Right.
And so, Phil can be a pretty enigmatic guy. He's definitely a driving force in the band. He's one hell of a personality. And, sometimes, personalities mesh, sometimes they don't, and it's kind of more what I would attribute it to. It's just a matter of the fact that, Malevolent's been going for many, many years, decades at this point. And, ultimately, as time goes on, things change, people change, ideas and,
Right.
goals and so forth. People just kind of have, these little schisms and so forth.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's best to split amicably early on as opposed to let something fester and just get really noxious, like, like maybe what happened in, Metallica, for example, not that Malevolent's on that caliber, but, like they, when you bring a therapist in and everyone's like, trying to, what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's some next level shit.
yeah.
But now with you bringing, you guys are, like you said, you are bringing in a fourth member. Are you going to continue to sing?
Yeah.
You are going to continue. Okay, so you're going to continue the bass. You're going to still be jamming out, and singing.
I just love talking to people. You know what I mean? And like, so I mean, the way I look at it is like this, like, if Malevolent collectively ever decides like they want me to step back from lead vocals, I'm fine with that. I definitely don't have an issue with that, but as long as they give me the opportunity to just talk to the crowd, to connect with the crowd, like I love that. I'm just a people person.
Right.
And I just love talking to people, and I can't keep my mouth shut half the time anyway. So you know what I mean? Oh, you can see my Dolly Parton shirt.
Oh, that's great.
I love it.
Oh, hell no.
Love it.
Where the fuck did you find that? I've never even seen that shit. I mean, I'm a fan of Dolly per se for who she is. I love who she is.
It's
badass shirt.
But where the fuck did you find that?
I saw a guy, we were somewhere in Europe, and there was this band that was staying at the same hotel from England. And one of the members of the band was wearing this shirt. And I was like, oh, man, because I'm from Northeast Tennessee. And so where I'm from, Dolly Parton is like our Statue of Liberty, basically.
Right. Well, yeah.
And so and I love, everyone, I love Dolly and so forth. But I saw the shirt, and then he said, yeah, he basically was like, oh, you can order them online, mate, and so I went online. My wife actually got it for me. So it's,
like
that's
awesome.
Black metal Dolly.
Give me a whole different image of Dolly. I wonder if she knows that it even exists.
I don't know, but hopefully she wouldn't take offense because that lady's written over like 3,000 songs, and so she's insane.
That's probably an understatement too, man. Imagine how much she's written that she personally didn't sing, that she sang for the other artists.
Yeah, well, that so yeah, I mean, so yeah, like I said, where I come from, Dolly is the queen.
She's queen. Yeah, she did. It don't matter where the fuck she's from. The States, she's queen. Dolly, Reba McEntire.
Hell yeah!
It don't matter if you're death metal or not. Dude, those